School starts. If you're a senior in college, that only means one thing. Time to pick out your superhero name. Welcome back to Drotalks. We got another audiobook review for you. Superpowers Year 4. The final book, the final review in the Superpowered story. This book is huge at 62.5 hours long. Please be aware there will be spoilers ahead. But for those less patient of you out there, do I recommend? Don't I recommend? Come on, man. You know. Boom. 2 thumbs up. This book is awesome. The audiobook is awesome. I read it. I listened to it. Do whatever you have to do. Read it. Listen to it. Absorb it mentally. Get this information into your psyche. You'll be better for it. I guarantee it. For those of you still out here, let's start with the story. As I mentioned before, slight spoilers for books year 1 through year 3. Year 4, I'm going to try to keep as spoiler free as possible. But if you don't want to see any of that, click below on the description. I'll have reviews for all the previous books. Superpowers Year 1, 2, 3. And of course, Corpies. Check that out. Come back here. Or even one better, on the link below, I'll have the list of all the books and audiobook links. So you can get it, read it for yourself, and then come back. Year 4 starts where year 3 left off. And that's with our main cast of students, with a couple members of the supporting cast in a summer camp after the attack on Lander. And they're training, they're dealing with the attack in their own ways. And they're trying to make sense out of the aftermath from that event. But the attack on Lander just didn't affect our superheroes to be those students. It had reverberations throughout the world. So all the HCP campuses, I mean, it blew them away. One of their own was attacked. There were fatalities in general all around. The teachers are being held responsible. The deans are being held responsible, kept in alert. There's political ramifications. And even beyond that, there's ramifications to the villains that orchestrated this attack. So all that happens within the first few chapters of the book. It really sets up what happened due to this attack on Lander. So each of our main casts, again, we got Vince, we got Mary, we got Alice, we got Nick, we got Roy, and we got Herschel. So going into this book, I was kind of blown away because a lot of events happened in a very short period of time. But it's done very realistically, in the sense that if this were to happen, that's the kind of reaction you would see. So very believable. But I was happy when our main character started the year again, and it kind of picked off just the way the years before. At the end of the day, they're seniors and they're in college and they're dealing with work, with school, and with the superhero certification training program. You right away get back into the flow of years 1 through 3 with the big distinction. You know, they're seniors. They're white uniform seniors. They hold their heads a little higher. And there's a big distinction between this class of seniors and any class of seniors before them. This class has a couple marks that separates them. One is the secret's not out completely, but it's pretty well known that there's former powers in this class and they're strong. The second, they were attacked and they actually saw action. They defended, they overthrew, they defeated these villains that attacked, and so they're held in an even higher esteem. And it's very well known that this class in Lander has some of the strongest supers in a very long time, and they're constantly be compared to the class of Legends, where of course Globe came from, Zero, just to name a couple. This class of very strong supers. And here we are again, and also from Lander. But they're not called the class of Legends. One thing that is different in year 4 than from the other years is the trials. Every other year up until this point, there's really 2 main trials. There's the semester break, right before winter break trial, and there's the end of year trial. For seniors, they got a lot of trials. One of the other main difference is heroes come in to observe these trials, and this is where these apprenticeships start happening. The heroes see what students they want. And as they see the class of Lander displaying their prowess and their skill set, they quickly become known as the class of Nightmares. It's well done, and you can tell Drew Hayes set this up from the beginning, just with the sets of powers that he exploited for this class. Of course, the world building is strong as ever. We continue to see that world, all these stories, all these arcs that started, they continue to develop, they continue to unravel, and they continue to close. There is one key difference between year 4, and that is the plights that happen year through year through year. So we know there's always drama happening in Halloween. There's always some sort of huge event in the mid-year break. There's always some sort of drama for spring break, and some climax at the end, some crazy notion that's not the norm for a class in the HCP. Year 1 through 3, our team, and not just our main cast, but even the supporting characters, they're always reacting to this drama. They're always on the defense. They're always taken by surprise, and they're reacting, and they triumph. Year 4, you do see that distinction that they're controlling the drama. They're coordinating the drama, and they're owning it. They're being more proactive. And this is just like a very slight nod to show you that the class of seniors has really grown and who they really are. I loved everything about this book. It was amazing. 62 hours went like that. I could not believe how fast it went. I would say the book wasn't perfect. There was a couple items that I wish were different, but I think it's really just that the book is that good that I felt lacking in some instances for more. A very good example is that I wish there was more Chad. He is there, he is predominant, and his story does finish very but he was one of those characters I really like. Some of the people I hate, I ended up loving. Maybe loving is a strong word, but respecting. Some people that I respected, I ended up pondering their stance and their point of view. But the characters all held true to the very end. There's one arc that took me by surprise, and I thought it was going nowhere. I was kind of, I thought this was going to be a critique, a very negative critique, because I thought it was to highlight a certain character, which it was doing. But I just thought with everything else going on in the world, this was pointless. And whenever it came on, I continued listening to it, but I almost wanted to bypass it just because I felt the conclusion of this little arc that started in year 4 and had to end in year 4. I foresaw it being a pointless arc. I was very surprised how that arc ended, and the significance behind it, not only for that character but for this whole world in general. It really took me by surprise, and I very much appreciated it once it was done. So that was going to be a concern, but at the end of the day, Drew Hayes, he outsmarted me. So good on you. That was awesome. Very well done story, as in all the other books. Again, amazing. Highly recommend. Story, 5 out of 5. So now let's talk about the narrator. Kyle McCarley. Kyle McCarley has narrated all 5 books. I think in total, it was 179 hours, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of voice acting. So, I mean, props to Kyle McCarley just for hanging in there and giving us the goods. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and there's a lot of very talented narrators out there. There are some that are not so good, especially when authors try to narrate their own books. Some of them are good, some of them are not. But there's no doubt that Kyle McCarley, he is the master at his craft. I think no one does a book better than he. I mean, this world is huge. Again, 62 hours. He does it flawlessly. So many characters, never miss a beat, know exactly who's talking. Narration, 5 out of 5. Kyle, not only am I a fanboy, but you are the master. Enough said. So that leaves us with listenability. Would I listen to this again? Man, I'm listening to this again. I'm picking it apart. I'm loving it. Everything comes full circle. All our main characters, again, Vince, Mary, Alice, Nick, Roy, Herschel. When you come from where they started 179 hours ago, it was a privilege to be with them on this journey, to be a part of this. I'm very glad I found this series. So listenability, 5 out of 5. So this gives us an overall score of 5 out of 5. Again, no surprise here. The whole series I gave a 5 out of 5. I mean, this is just a fantastic world. Very well done. very well thought out. I mean, from beginning to end, it was amazing how well Drew Hayes mapped this whole story out. One thing I do want to mention, there's some cameos from Corpies that just, I'm just going to say, there was a thumping and a string of curse words. I almost jumped out of my seat in joy. And I was so happy that certain characters made appearances when they did. It was fantastic. It was a good homage to the fans who have been invested for this journey, and it was very rewarding to see all these people that you've grown to love represented in this final chapter in this wonderful series. So one of the reasons I started this channel was just to start a dialogue between like-minded people. I know when I finish an audiobook, when I finish a movie, when I finish a video game, I always like to go on YouTube and continue that experience with others via comments, conversations, via just viewing the information on the screen. And I saw that was lacking in audiobooks, and that's actually one of the main reasons I decided to start this channel. I knew if I was looking at, more likely other people are looking for it too. I've already met a few people that we've had our little conversations in the comments, and Superpowered seems to be a unifying force on one end, at least for one particular group. So what's next for the Superpowered? I'm definitely going to do a series review, a very general, no spoilers. I'm going to let that be my entry point to people who haven't experienced this universe. That way they can kind of get a taste and feel if they think it's for them. I'm also going to do some character analysis where I'm going to talk about the character, their powers, their history, their arcs throughout the story, what I think of them, who's my favorite. So I am going to try to dissect this series in future videos, obviously not one after another, but they will be popping up. So please look forward to that. So, have you listened to Superpowered or any of the Superpowered books? If so, what did you think about it? If you could pick a superpower from the arsenal of superpowers that Drew Hayes displayed for us, which power would it be? I would like to know, so comment below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. This has been Drotalks. Hit that like and subscribe. Ring that bell to get notified. And we'll see you next time.